Welcome to the West Covina Traffic Commission on November 9th, 2021. I would like to call this meeting to order at 3:02 p.m. My name is Allison Richter, and I'm from the West Covina Traffic Department.
Jana Robbins with West Covina Traffic Department.
Brian Kearns, West Covina Police.
Adam Seigner, West Covina Police.
Michael Ackerman, City Engineer.
And now I'm going to briefly review the items from last month. So the first item from last month was the traffic review on Evanwood Avenue between Vine Avenue and Cameron Avenue. The engineering staff conducted a review on that stretch of road to evaluate the calming measures for traffic. And the traffic committee unanimously approved the recommended items, which will be presented to City Council in the next couple of weeks. The next item we discussed was the traffic review at the intersection of Puente Avenue and Vincent Avenue. They conducted a traffic review for the intersection and unanimously approved the recommended items to be presented to council. And the third item from last month was Roland Avenue between Lark Allen Avenue and Azusa Avenue. They conducted a review along that stretch of road and evaluated traffic calming measures. And the traffic committee unanimously approved the recommended items, which will be presented to City Council. Next, we're going to introduce some new traffic committee items. So the first item we're going to review is for Greenleaf Drive curve.
Okay, so we have a traffic review of the curve at Greenleaf Drive. We had a resident who was concerned with the speeding along the curve, and that they asked for the city to look at measures that would increase awareness of the curve. The resident reported that vehicles unfamiliar with the area tended to not slow down for the curve. So the initial request, the resident wanted speed humps at the curve or a stop sign or other traffic calming measures to slow traffic. So the traffic review included analysis of existing roadway conditions, collision data, average daily count, and a 24-hour speed survey. So we did a 24-hour average daily traffic speed vehicle count, and there were a total of 733 vehicles per day. And the count was taken on August 31st when school was back to in-person learning. At the same time, we did a radar speed survey along this section over a 24-hour period, and the 85th percentile speed was about 34 miles per hour, so it's slightly above the 25 mile per hour posted limit. We looked at the collision history over a 5.5-year period, and there were a total of 2 collisions. Both of them happened in 2018. What we look at is the SWITers, and then we also go through police reports for the 2021 collisions that are not input yet into SWITers. So, like I said, there was a total of 2 collisions. And then our recommendations on this one. Oh, before I bring that up, I know the citizen wanted the city to look at a speed hump installation, and because of the existing conditions, the curve and the road, this is not a candidate for speed humps at this time. And then also stop control. Stop control is installed more of a right-of-way or a sign the right-of-way for an intersection. It's not used as speed control. So at this location, always stop would not be a candidate either. So what we are recommending to improve visibility of the approaching curve is for the chevron alignment signs in the middle at the curve, which is number 2 on this map. And then in addition would be the 15-mile-an-hour speed advisory sign with the curve ahead sign, which is the number 1. And that would be our recommendations at this location. So any discussion?
Are Are these signs going on new posts, or are there existing streetlights at the number 2 location?
Number
or-
2, there's a street light.
So
So we
those two
can post
chevrons
it,
go on
right,
there.
yeah, right in between those 2 driveways, there's an existing street light.
Okay.
So we can place it on there. And I believe the one that's going on this map, northbound, that's also a street light. The
Okay.
other location going westbound, southwest, I think we have to install a new pole on that one. And make sure it's in front of the tree and not behind the tree. So it's not blocked for visual when cars approaching the intersection, the curve. So, any other discussion?
Good idea. We've been
All
getting-
right.
We've been getting complaints on that street for years, so.
Well, it looks
I
like
think I think the thing.
would help,
That's perfect, like speed bumps or that's all that, no way.
yeah.
Because it's gonna cause more of a hazard than it's even worth.
Right, on a curve, we don't want to put a speed bump on a curve. It looks like they already have,
Perfect.
yeah, they have the side stripes, so that's kind of already a traffic calming measure, so, you know, this way addition is we're addressing the
Is there any
curve.
lighting on the signs? You know, sometimes they'll do like a.
Yeah, we
Or
don't
they
have
just-
that because there weren't enough vehicles, there were 700 vehicles. So, I mean, if there's still an issue, then we can bring it back and look at the flashing signs. Both of the collisions that were noted were at Amar, so they weren't even at the curve. So, you know, I hate to say it, but we may just, you know, if the resident still complains or you guys notice that there's some collisions, then we can bring it back and look at it further. But for now, we'll stick with this first stage measures.
Perfect.
Yeah, there was some other discussion about obtaining a radar speed feedback sign.
Yes.
Whether you could put on different streetlights as the different complaints come in throughout the city, and then, you know, if we think.
Yeah,
more
we're gonna try,
enforcement
you know, if we do
actions
some
needed.
funding grants, we'll try to put something like that in so that the city has something like that available. So at this time, the city doesn't have that. I think you guys have a speed trailer, but as they know, as soon as you remove your trailer, it goes back to how it was, so.
Yeah.
Those yellow signs are gonna get people's attention, I think. I think that'll be.
Okay, great. All right, should we vote then for moving this to council for approval? All those in favor? Aye.
Bye.
Any disapproval? No? And there are no residents for this item, so we will go to the next item. This one, okay, this is a traffic review at 2 always stop intersections. One is Glendora Avenue at Walnut Creek, and the other is at Vine and Hollenbeck. And both of these are always stop. A couple months ago, we also did looked at some of our always stops that were in the city that had a lot of collisions. So we looked to put flashing stop signs at those locations. So we were asked by residents and the city to look at these 2 additional intersections to see if they met our guidelines to install the flashing stop signs. So we also looked at collisions, existing conditions. So this is, location number 1 is Glendora at Walnut. So as you can see, it's the one it's a always stop. It has the stop signs in the middle island for the east and west. And it's right by the Colony. So it has a lot of foot traffic as well as regular traffic going through this intersection. We did a peak hour turning movement count. We also observed the vehicle observance of the stop sign and found that, like a lot of the larger stop signs, you know, that people were kind of rolling through. So this also gives PD an opportunity to see that maybe they can do some spot enforcement at this location as well. Now, we looked at a collision investigation over 5.5 years, and there were 18 collisions in this intersection. So it met our recommendations to install the always stop with the flashing. I mean, already it's always stop. So the flashing stop signs. Now, the only difference is here, because there are stop signs on the islands, we can't place those with the flashing beacons because anything in the road has to be on a breakaway post. So in the middle, it'll just be for the north and south on, as you can see, we would just have the regular new stop signs underneath with the all-way plaque. And then we would also repaint those little islands with the island alert curb reflectors, so at night they really show up. And repaint all of the striping at this intersection. Remove and replace the stop control on all the 4 regular corners with the solar-powered LED flashing stop signs. And then put the all-way plaque underneath. And then we like to add the red reflective post on those, and even we'll add those in the middle stop signs too, because at night we've seen that they really shine on when the headlights for the car shines on them, they really stand out. And then the island alert curb reflectors, and then replace in several directions. They were the older stop ahead signs, so we're going to replace those with new bright yellow signs, and then refresh all the existing pavement legends and markings, as well as the crosswalk on here. Okay, that's that one. And then we have location number 2, Vine and Hollenbeck. It's also existing always stop, and it has, for north and south, it has the regular stop sign in the middle on the island. So we did a peak hour turning movement count, and also the observance of the stop sign. And then the collision investigation. On this one, we had a total of 20 collisions. So it also met our guidelines to place flashing stop signs. So if we look at our last page, it's similar to the other one. We're going to replace on all 4 corners, the main corners, the LED solar-powered flashing stop sign. And then on the 2 islands, we would replace with newer, bright, stop signs with the all-way plaque underneath. And then also, all of them will have the red reflective post, so at nighttime it'll show up. And then on the middle islands, we have underneath the stop sign, and the all-way plaque would be the yellow triangle, or the yellow, diamond, thank you. Diamond-shaped reflector. And then repaint the island alert curb with the curb reflector on the points, and then the outside portion of the curb at the intersection. The yellow, high visibility yellow, to make the curb and the little raised median show up at night. And then here also, we'll be replacing the stop ahead signs with new advanced stop ahead signs, and then refresh all the existing pavement legends and markings. This has white crosswalks, so we'll replace it with white ladder striping. That would include the ladder striping, stop bar, stop line, and then the stop ahead pavement legends as well. So it's kind of refresh the whole intersection and then do the flashing stop sign. Okay, any discussion on these 2 items? Yes?
I've responded to several serious TCs at this intersection on Vine and Hollenbeck. Would it be possible, or maybe a good idea, to put the flashers on the stop ahead signs as well? I mean, Because there's already stop signs there, so I was wondering if the flashers for the stop ahead will kind of give them a pre-warning saying, look, this is, there's also a really serious bump there too, if you're going westbound. So I don't know, or even like a bump ahead sign or, the only reason is because I know this one's a big topic and I respond personally to several of them here, so.
Yeah,
I think it'd be a good idea to have some kind of flashers on the stop ahead signs.
We could look at that. The California MUTCD recommends that only either the stop ahead is flashing or the stop sign is flashing. Because if you get too many, then
Yeah,
people just
they'll
kind
line,
of,
flash
yeah,
everywhere.
so, I mean, we can look at the bump or the dip going westbound to see if there's anything in addition. But on this one, we'd like to stay within what our guidelines say.
What about doing, I don't know if you mentioned it,
Yeah.
if I just kind of
Yeah,
didn't remember, but the stop ahead, are those also going to be reflective poles or just the signs?
just the signs at the stop sign.
Is that something we can look into as well?
We could look at that,
Just to make more awareness.
yeah,
I
no,
wonder
I
if they
see.
have a
Prior-
yellow
prior-
stripe
Yeah,
to
because
go
it would
on
have
that.
to be yellow,
Yeah, it'd be the warning before the stop.
yeah.
That might actually make it more visible.
Yeah, we could do that. We could do, it would be a yellow post, because usually the post matches the sign.
Right.
So, like, for the stop sign, it's red, so that would be the yellow.
I think
So-
you'll find even with the brand new signs, the retro reflectivity
Mhm.
is way better.
Yes, by far.
Yeah, it's like that neon. Plus, I didn't, some people don't know, but the signs have a life. So on the back of every sign is the year the sign was made. So it has a life for reflectivity at night. So I think, we have to be cognizant of that, so we can replace all of those to make it more stand out at night, especially. Not that everything's happening at night, it happens, people are not paying attention, but yeah, we could add the yellow post as well.
Yeah, the retro reflect is actually a lot better because retro reflect means it bounces and comes straight back at the angle that you looked at it. So, I mean, especially for this intersection
Yes.
or any of the ones to come, that'd be a good thing to have.
Yeah, another thing we do sometimes, if there's a crosswalk, is you can do the raised pavement markers. So if it's the white crosswalk, the ladder crosswalk, you would do it in white. But when you see those at night, it's exactly like you said, the headlights hit it and it goes straight back up into your eyes. So even at an unlighted intersection, when you see that, the whole thing lights up, you're like, oh, what is that? I should stop. So that in addition to the stop signs, could be another thing we could add.
Yeah,
So
That's a
sometimes
good
we,
idea.
do some
Mhm.
improvements, and if we want more, then we add more, because it's all things that have to be maintained as well. You can see each one of these signs is $1,700, and it starts adding up too.
Right.
well, I think the RPMs, it's not the ones that light up, because those don't last. But the regular RPMs, you put the little,
They're
like the
glued
center
down.
divider, but they'd be white.
They're white, and then
Yeah.
the reflectors are on both sides.
Yes.
You can see them coming both ways.
So we could add that to outline the crosswalk at this location, and then add the yellow post to the stop ahead signs. And then in addition to all the other measures at the intersection. Is that what I'm hearing? Okay. Good suggestions. So do we have a motion to add those two and then carry this to council for final approval?
So moved.
Okay, no residents here, so I guess that's it. That concludes our traffic committee. And then Allison?
So I would like to adjourn this meeting at about 3:20 PM. Guess that's it
All
for
right,
me.
thank you,
for
people.
being here.
Thank you, everyone, for showing up.